Blog Talk Radio.
What time is it?
WH Radio.
We are the best in the world at what we do.
Welcome back to Wrestlingheads Radio. It's me, Oscar, filling for skits yet again tonight. Wow. What a weekend I had, and what a not bad episode of Raw we just witnessed. Joining me now, I got Tom from the NY. What's going on, Tom?
What's going on, Oscar? Just chilling out over here.
Yeah, definitely. You should be chilling out now that the Kings are now your Stanley Cup champions. Woohoo!
Listen, I don't know what you guys did. I don't know how much you guys paid the refs, but, it's okay.
Oh, come on.
If you guys
man.
had to pay the refs, it's okay.
Pay the rest. Okay.
But, you got to admit, I know you're a Kings fan, but you got to admit, it was a hell of a series. Even though it was only, 4-1, it was a hell of a series.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. We could talk about hockey some other time, but where should we start off on Raw? Before we talk about Raw, what you thought of Raw today? Because to me, I actually thought it was not bad. I think it's probably the best Raw we had in a month.
Nah, I wouldn't agree with that. I thought Raw was pretty I would say average. There was a lot of bad shit on Raw, including the main event was absolutely fucking terrible. I'm sorry,
yeah,
that was one of the worst main events I've seen in a while on Raw. That was terrible.
Yeah, I know. But
and
we'll
I'll get more into that as we talk about Raw, but and then my true feelings will come out about that.
Yeah. All right. First of all, Raw started off, well, if you had the WWE app, you probably got a message saying that about the Authority got a little announcement to make in the opening of Raw. So, yeah, they did have an announcement to make, which what's it called? They announced about the extra slots for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, or the match, you can say. If you saw SmackDown, not Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt actually got in the match by defeating Dean Ambrose, so he's in the match. And there was 2 more slots open, so Triple H announced there was going to be a Battle Royal, and he banned Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and John Cena to enter this Battle Royal due to the fact that they have something against the Authority. So then, but Triple H has, you can say, he wants to give him a chance in a way, but not Dean Ambrose. And Roman Reigns, but he was willing to give Cena a chance. They want to put John Cena in a stretcher match against Kane, and if he beats Kane, or if Kane beats Cena, then they will enter the Money in the Bank in this stretcher match. But that's going to be in the main event. So then the first match was actually Seth Rollins against Dolph Ziggler, which Seth Rollins still wrestled that Shield geared on. It's weird. And then you can see the match ended in I want to say like what was a DQ, because Dean Ambrose, which I almost call him John Moxley in the bit right there, came out with his old John Moxley look, the leather jacket, the jeans, and then he attacked Seth Rollins, and and then that's what made Triple H to show up on the time screen, and then he put Dean Ambrose in a match against Wade Barrett, which I thought I saw that on SmackDown this past week, but So they just put on the match, and then which ended up being Dean Ambrose getting counted out due to the fact that Seth Rollins came out of nowhere later on that match, and he didn't focus on the match, so he got counted out because he went to attack Seth Rollins until Dean Ambrose went back in the ring, did the 30 Ds to Wade Barrett, and there you go. So, Tom, what you think? Dean Ambrose going old school there, you can say.
Yeah, you know, we haven't seen much of like kind of old school Ambrose since he debuted. You know, you kind of saw hints of it, you know, when he would cut promos. But ever since the Shield split up, you know, last week's promo that he cut on Seth Rollins, and then this week, you know, it seems just more like, you know, his old self is coming out, that old psychotic, you know, crazy, you know, John Moxley, Dean Ambrose now.
Yeah.
And I think it's great, you know, and I still think, you know, even with Rollins and Reigns both being heavily pushed, you know, Dean Ambrose is not going to be forgotten. When you have those good of mic skills, you know, the WWE notices you, you know, regardless of anything else. You know, they notice your talent. So I think this is a good sign of things to come for Ambrose in the future, and I'm looking forward to see him and Seth Rollins go at it at Money in the Bank. If they give them enough time, it should be a hell of a match.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? Me and Chris were talking about this last week about this feud. Chris had an idea. Why not have a long feud with these two? Make it personal, you know? And I agree. I'll love it, but I doubt WWE will have a year feud with those two guys. You know, if it was in the 80s or early 90s, most likely it's going to happen. And he also mentioned these should be for like a title, like an Intercontinental title feud. Like imagine that Intercontinental title. Imagine how prestigious it would be.
A feud like Ambrose and Rollins right now doesn't need a title because it's just all about, you know, Seth Rollins turning his back on the Shield. So like a title shouldn't overshadow the whole feud, and that's what I feel like they would do if it was for the Intercontinental or United States title, whatever. But I think down the line in the future, if, you know, Ambrose and Rollins go at it, you know, in the next couple of years, then it should be definitely for a title.
Yeah, but I told Chris last week I think it's just going to be a one-month feud, but the way how Raw went down today, it wouldn't surprise me this feud end up having a match at Money in the Bank and then at Battleground. I don't know about SummerSlam, if they're going to have a third match, but to me this feud could extend to Battleground. But then...
that's what I think. I think they start off at Money in the Bank, have another match at Battleground, and then at SummerSlam it should be like a street fight between them. Something that like
I would love to see that.
It kind of steals the show at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Punk and Lesnar were last year. You know, even though Bryan and Cena were the main event and Bryan did win the title, you know, everybody talks about that Punk-Lesnar match because of how good it was and, you know, how brutal it was.
Yep. Yeah, and if that happens, I'll be happy because I'm actually going to SummerSlam. If there's going to be a third climax match between the three. But we'll see what goes down, but I like how it is. I like seeing Dean Ambrose. And by the way, he left with his own music, not that Shield music, but it looks like there's going to be no more Shield. But we can discuss that a little bit later. But and the funny part is I actually called him John Moxley when he came out. Like, holy shit, John Moxley! But we all know him today. He's Dean Ambrose. So yeah. Another thing before we move on, I want to say I would not mind seeing a Dean Ambrose Wade Barrett Intercontinental title feud, and Dean Ambrose walks out with
hard hitting. You know, you think about the list of guys that Dean Ambrose can just go in and have a great match with. I think it could be almost like anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So,
but hopefully he could get an Intercontinental run down the road. But yeah, that's why I got a little happy about it when I see his old self again, and that's what got me rolling. All right, let's see also what happens. This is the one part that I know this didn't happen right after the whole Dean Ambrose thing, but I just want to mention about this. Was just kind of stupid. That Divas match between Paige and Cameron. It seems like
I know it's Shoot the Shit Wednesday, but I want to rant about this just for a second.
Yeah, but let me talk about this a second. I remember when the Funk Dactyls came out, I actually thought Brodus Clay was coming out, but then it was actually the Funk Dactyls. But it was a match between Cameron and Paige, and it seems like Cameron was acting kind of heelish in a way. She was doing a couple of things like running away and all this stuff, and Naomi was like not happy what Cameron was doing. So then Paige ended up beating Cameron, but if they're going to start a Cameron heel versus Paige feud, I think this is the stupidest way to start. I mean, okay, are you planning to split the Funkadactyls? Is this a good way to start? I mean, not a great move from WWE. I just see this is out of, like, it was, I don't know if the creative team just being lazy, like what the hell are you doing? I mean, would it just be great if Cameron goes over Paige and then she goes happy, goes up, then you have Naomi there not liking what she's doing, and then she could be in the middle of this, and you can send a match between Cameron and Paige for Money in the Bank. Then you can extend this rivalry. I mean, you could have a Diva feud actually extend to Battleground to a possible triple threat. I mean, I don't know. I just don't like what I just saw from that. But Tom, go ahead. Rant, what you got to say, man?
All right. I hate this completely. I absolutely hate Cameron. And I don't hate Naomi, but I don't think she's that good. I mean, yeah, she's a little athletic in the ring, but all the stupid stuff that she does in the ring, like shake her ass every 5 seconds, and like when she does that leg lock and she like shakes her ass on whatever diva she's facing, like she shakes her ass in her head, that's completely stupid. But I completely hate Cameron. And for those of you listening that don't know, there was some superstars and divas released over the weekend. I don't know if you wanted to talk about that later, Oscar.
Last week, you can say. Maybe a little later, but...
but we'll get to that later. But I wish Cameron was on that list. Cameron has no redeeming qualities. You know, she's boring as hell. She can barely cut a promo. She can't wrestle. I thought they would have seen that she was stupid as hell when she was on Tough Enough, and Stone Cold asked her favorite match, and she says, Melina versus Alicia Fox. If I was Stone Cold, I would have just stunned the hell out of her, and I would have kicked her out Tough Enough myself. just for that stupid, dumb, idiotic, moronic comment by Cameron. I cannot stand Cameron. I can't believe she's getting a Divas title feud. It's unbelievable. Like I said, they couldn't do anything with Emma. You know, Emma hasn't been on Raw. You know, she's been kind of popping up on NXT the past couple weeks, but they're not doing anything with her on Raw. They're not even bringing her out with Santino anymore. They're just not putting her on Raw. And hopefully it's because they want to make people forget about that she was ever with Santino, and they're going to bring her back to, you know, actually be the Emma that she was in NXT. It's just it's ridiculous, you know. It just shows how kind of lackluster the Divas division is. I hate to say it, without AJ, you know.
Yeah. I mean, there's multiple ways you can do to fix this Divas division, even if they knew AJ was going to be gone for a cool minute. Like, example, I mean, okay, I was okay with the Paige and Tamina because she's aligned with AJ, and then they had that little short feud. Okay, I was okay with that. But afterwards, it was interesting, like what they're going to do afterwards. Okay, then you set up a crazy-ass Alicia Fox against Paige. Okay, people, just get me wrong. I'm not blaming Paige, how everything is. I just don't think they're booking her right. Okay, there's a couple of times when Alicia Fox went crazy, Paige could have came out, maybe saved one of those, like, timekeeper people, Michael Cole, whatever she's been messing around with, or whatever, when every time Alicia Fox goes crazy. But nope, they let Alicia Fox go crazy without Paige doing anything, and this feud was not exciting or nothing, that excites us, and and it was end up being stupid pretty much. And now this is like, what the hell? Cameron, okay, I agree with you, Tom. I never was a fan of Cameron. I mean, the whole Tough or Nothing was stupid. I just think maybe this is another move from John Laurinaitis that, okay, this chick looks good, let's hire her.
Yeah.
Even though
I don't even think she's that good looking. That's my personal opinion on Cameron. I don't think she's that good looking.
I think she is. I even met her too. She's gorgeous. I'll tell you that. But anyways, I agree. She cannot wrestle for shit, and I think there's nobody backstage even likes her or respects her, because there's people out there went through the indies and worked their ass off to get to the WWE, and she didn't. She was in a reality show that made her look stupid, and somehow WWE hired her because of her good looks. And look at her, she's teaming up with Naomi, and she's on the main roster doing her thing. And some people out there don't think she deserved that. So
yeah, it's kind of like Eva Marie,
Yeah, Eva Marie, same thing.
Yeah, I saw kind of a quick snippet. It was from a house show over the weekend, and Eva Marie tried to do a Lou Thesz press, and she completely botched the hell out of it. I mean, the Lou Thesz press is, I'm not a wrestler, but from what I've read, the Lou Thesz press is one of the simplest moves to pull off, because all you have to do is jump and kind of land on your opponent. It doesn't involve a lot of athletic ability. And she could barely jump and execute a Lou Thesz press. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely. But
it's a time like this, I wish, I know Sarah Del Rey is down in NXT training, but I wish they would just bring her up just for a solid, 2 to 3 month feud, or even longer with Paige, because that would be just completely awesome. You have Paige, who's a great wrestler, and Sarah Del Rey, who's a great wrestler. Sarah Del Rey is one of the best women's wrestlers, in the past 20 years. I would say in America, because there's a lot of great Japanese women's wrestlers. But it's just ridiculous, and Sarah Del Rey can still go, obviously, and she can cut a hell of a promo probably.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But like I said, they have a chance to recover this. Like, they can extend this to a 2-month rivalry. You can add Naomi in this and make a little issue. They have a chance, but I don't like how the way they started this off at all. But anyways, we already have a call online right now. Hold on a second. 510 area code. You're live on Wrestlingheads Radio. Who's speaking? 510. Oh, 510 just dropped. Whoever was calling from the 510 area code, please call back. It seems like you just dropped down soon if I put you on. So please call. You could call back again at 760-454-1107. Or unless if you lost signal or something, tweet us at Wrestlingheads. All right. But anyways, I think it's time that we should talk about what's trending right now, if it's still trending. But before we talk about it, I just want to let a listener know named Mysterious Mexican that's listening. If you said that you think this is a rip-off of something, so you can call us at 760-454-1107 and talk about this, because I got your message about what you were talking about, so here's your chance. Call in, because we're going to talk about it right now. All right. It was on Twitter that Cody Rhodes said he finally found the perfect partner for Goldust, which ends up being a guy named Stardust, which is Cody Rhodes dressed up sort of like Goldust, but he has a star face paint in the front of his face, you can say, and he's wearing contacts, like red eye contacts, and to be honest, when he smiles, he looks a little creepy. Him and Stardust and Goldust had a match against Ryback, and they end up defeating Ryback. But hold on for a second, Tom. The guy I'm telling you about is calling now. Mysterious Mexican, you're live on Wrestlingheads Radio. What's up, man?
Yeah, I was when I saw that character Stardust, he right away reminded me of that. I don't know if you guys played that video game in the 1980s called Pro Wrestling, where they had this character called Starman, and we had this little star in his face and all that stuff. And I was like, my God, that has a big rip off of that guy.
I know you're talking about that 1980s game. Starman, he's like Starface, and he's like all purple or pink, right?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, I get you. So you're saying it's a rip-off to that old video game?
Yeah, I don't think the fans kind of reacted well to his character. We was kind of like shocked, like, what is this? I think they were a way better tag team when he was just regular Cody Rhodes. That was a great tag team when they won the belt. And I don't know what the hell this now. They're making tag team, and they're making everybody like a joke now. Like, I don't know, like everything's weird. Everybody's a weird character, trying to make everybody funny now, and like, nobody's really getting serious right now. So I don't know what direction they're heading to. I don't know if they're just taking the PG era to another level of wackiness, man. Like, I don't know what fucking Stardust. You gotta be kidding me. He had his contact lenses and everything, and he's all dancing around all weird. We already have Adam Rose dancing around in the ring all crazy. Now they bring him. And we already have Fandango. And, like, I don't know, man. These new characters are freaking crazy. I don't know what the hell they're doing right now.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, I think they should try to do something for Cody Rhodes to make him look entertaining. To me, I think they should go back to the whole pretty boy look. But, I don't know. To me, he just stuck with his whole thing with his brother, Goldust. And,
everybody was waiting for that. Everybody was waiting for that Cody Rhodes, Goldust beef and rivalry, and I was waiting for it too. I was like, it's time, they fought, they got angry at each other in the ring, like let them fight, let them start a great rivalry between them two. They have good chemistry together, and I'm like, all right, this fight ain't gonna be it. He's not gonna find a partner. He's gonna whip his ass, and then comes like Stardust, and I'm like, what the hell? You gotta be like,
yep.
So I don't know. So I guess it's gonna keep on going for a little bit longer, and I don't know what is heading anymore. I don't know. I feel bad for their dad, Dusty Rhodes, who's probably rolling in his grave right now.
All right. I get you there. I want to hear what Tom has to say about this Stardust thing.
I don't even know what to say. When I first saw it, I was like, wait, what the hell is this? At first I thought it was like a joke, and then like Cody was gonna like attack Goldust or something. And then I realized they were actually going to be serious with this and keep it going. And I was oh my God. It blows my mind how much WWE has killed Cody Rhodes' momentum. Cody Rhodes has been, he was a great heel for years when he had the dashing gimmick, and then when Rey Mysterio injured him with the 619 and he had the mask on, that was the best Cody Rhodes, in my opinion, that dark, on-dashing Cody Rhodes. And then, like I said, last year at Money in the Bank, when he was going up that ladder, people were cheering like if it was, an actual world title match, like if he was actually going to win it. They wanted Cody Rhodes to win that. And then, of course, Damien Sandow won it. And then, so they move on, and, they have him, fired. And then, he comes back with Goldust, and they tag team, and they're interesting again. And they were, they were part of some of the interesting parts of a lot of dull Raws back at the end of last year. And they killed that tag team, and they just, they didn't even set up a feud between Cody and Goldust. It's just like, why couldn't you do that? It just blows my mind how terrible WWE creative has been with Cody Rhodes and even Goldust. Like I said, Goldust has looked, fantastic since he came back. And they haven't done anything with either of the guys. And it's, it's ridiculous. And, Cody Rhodes has been in the WWE for, 7 years?
7, 8 years,
still, 7, 8 years, and he's still only, 28. He's still really young, so there's a chance that, he could still possibly be built up as a legitimate contender for the world title, but, of course, they don't do that because, that would make too much sense. It's ridiculous, and I don't know.
All right.
It's makes
Let me ask
you
guys something. Let me ask you guys something. This right here. Do you guys think maybe at one point they were planning to do a breakup, but then they decided, you know what? Let's keep these guys as a tag team, but let's make it a little different. Let's make our tag team division a little interesting by starting with, let's just have Goldust and Cody still team up, but let's change Cody Rhodes and give him the Stardust thing, and let's make a tag team division. Hopefully, maybe the crowd will react to this. Well, so far it's trending worldwide, this whole Stardust thing. So it could be the way that WWE wanted to start it off, but I just don't know what to say about this. Me coming on a guy that likes tag teams, I don't know, but it seems like in NXT they're trying to start a tag team division there and try to start a tag team future. If that's gonna, I don't know, that they fucking want to start up a tag team division in both main and NXT roster. I'm guessing this. I don't know what to say. This is a good way to start it off or what, but I wish them luck to that. Mysterious Man, before I let you go, man, I just want to say that I saw this guy at House of Hardcore, and actually at the convention, and the Q&A thing. I saw you wearing a Sting mask when Mean Gene Okerlund told you that that you had a funny looking face because you had that Sting mask on. I saw that there, but you had a good time in the convention out there, man.
Yeah, it's great. I'm just glad he didn't say that when I didn't wear the mask, But yeah, and I was about to ask the question too, and he told that guy to stay away from me. He went to some other guy, and I was like, what the hell? Like, I don't know if he thought I was gonna ask a bullshit question or something like that. Because I noticed nobody was asking Stevie Ray a question. I kind of felt bad for him, Everybody was mostly asking Eric Bischoff, because he's the more interesting guy. No, and I wanted to know if all these tag teams come back once in a while, and even in the classic Raws that they have, I was like, maybe one day they have a Harlem Heat reunion, just for one time only. And I was gonna ask him something like that. I want to see what his answer was, and I don't know who Mean Gene, I don't know why he didn't want to ask me that. Let me ask a question, but it was cool. It's fun, me and all those wrestlers,
Yeah, I saw you met Goldberg and Lita, so.
Yeah, Kelly looked awesome. It was great.
Yeah,
it was fun seeing all the
Lich.
Balls Mahoney was wasted. And all he does is, all he would do would just talk about sharks. He loves talking about sharks and Bigfoot and all that stuff. He was cool. He was cool. And he still wrestled in the match. Even though he was wasted, he still wrestled. And he's cool. He's a great guy.
Yeah, definitely. All right, man. I want to thank you for calling in and share your thoughts about Stardust, and keep listening. All right, man?
Yeah, no problem. I'll be here.
All right, then. Peace out, then, dude. Late. All right, that was the Mysterious Mike McCann. Usually he'll say some wacky shit on this show, but he didn't, so I guess that shows you his thoughts of Stardust. But anyways, I'll talk about that convention later on in this show. But anyways, let's continue on with Raw. Roman Reigns. I see he bumped into Vicky backstage, talking about Vicky got to defend herself from the authority and blah, blah, blah. And he told Vicky I guess you're missing something. So Vicky went to go get something. She left those two cups of coffee with Roman. Roman put something on the cup. No, people, it's not that pee thing again, like the Road Dogg thing back in the Attitude Era. No, that wasn't it. He put something on the coffee cups. But then that was pretty much what happened, and talked to Vicky, which ends up being later on in the show that Triple H actually spilled the coffee on Vicky, but the other coffee cup, Stephanie took that one and started drinking it. So Triple H sent Vicky to get another cup of coffee, and then when Vicky came back, Stephanie McMahon was throwing up in the bathroom and ends up throwing up on Vicky, which was disgusting. And then Triple H had to take Stephanie out of the building. Maybe, I guess, assuming they're taking her to the hospital because Stephanie was feeling sick from that coffee. Then Roman Reigns came out saying that, the authority is going to fire you, but you guys still got to do this and that. Basically, what Roman Reigns was trying to do is trying to convince Vicky to put him in that Battle Royal match, which Vicky did. And that's pretty much what happened, but we'll get to the Battle Royal a little bit later. I'm trying to see what was going on. Kevin Hart was on Raw. He was.
I don't know about you, Oscar, but did you think that whole Stephanie throwing up skit was completely stupid as well? Maybe it was just me. I thought it was fucking stupid as hell.
I'd say that it's a good way to. It's just something we haven't seen for a while, like something nasty or gory segment we had. It's been a while since we've seen something like that, but
it was.
Maybe you can say so. But it sure is going to lead the way to get Vicky Guerrero out of there, because Vicky is scheduled to leave the WWE pretty soon, so I'm guessing this is going to lead the way to that. But I don't know what to say, if it's stupid or not, but but anyways,
it was just my opinion on that. It was kind of like this whole Raw, but keep going with the whole recap of Raw.
Yeah. Well, Kevin Hart is commentating during the Adam Rose versus Fandango match. Well, it's supposed to be, I think, a mixed tag match with Summer Rae teaming up with Adam Rose against Fandango and Layla, which it started off that way until Summer Rae chased Layla backstage, and then ended up being sort of like a one-on-one match between Adam Rose and Fandango, which Adam Rose won, and he invited Kevin Hart in the ring and, party with the freaking Rosebuds. Like they do with every celebrity. They make them feel welcome in WWE. That's pretty much it. And, yeah. And a past guest of ours was a Rosebud once again, Jamin Olivencia. I caught him again. So, shout out to Jamin Olivencia, by the way. Wrestlingheads alumni, you can say. Yeah. What was your thoughts of Kevin Hart on Raw? I
thought it was all right. I like, I like Kevin Hart's stand-up more than I like, his movies.
Yeah.
And he was okay on here. He wasn't featured too much, and, he had some funny stuff going on, but, it's kind of like, he's not a WWE fan, obviously, so he doesn't know what's going on. So, I like when WWE brings on celebrities that, are actual WWE fans or big WWE fans, because it's like, okay, it's like you're kind of thinking, maybe having a celebrity isn't so bad, because, you have these big celebrities and then their fans are wrestling, so you're like, well, this isn't too bad.
Yeah, Jeff, I feel you on that. I understand that. Like, example, when they had those special guests every week, I was actually cool with it, but there's some I didn't like that one astronaut guy. I don't know. I forgot his name. The guy that was in the moon. When they brought him in,
Neil Armstrong?
Not Neil Armstrong, the other dude.
I'm trying to remember. I can't remember them bringing an astronaut on.
But I remember he did he ring announced Evan Bourne coming in the ring because he flies and, it matched what he is,
See,
I
try to kind of forget about that whole guest, celebrity guest period. I try to forget that from my wrestling memory.
Yeah.
I kind of, just blank it out. Like the whole Katie Vick thing, I kind of try not to think about it.
Balls Aldrin, thanks for the tweet. What's your name again? Smartcast, my bad. Smartcast, thanks for the freaking name. Thanks for the shout out there. Buzz Aldrin, there you go. Shout out to Smartcast, by the way. Buzz Aldrin. Then the Shaquille O'Neal thing. I think Shaq was pretty cool because he is a wrestling fan. He even appeared in WCW back in the day. With the whole him and Big Show thing. Yeah, I like that. And, hey, Hugh Jackman is a WWE fan. I like him comparing.
Yeah, see, that's why cool. I don't mind when, Hugh Jackman comes on because he's actually, WWE fan. And, even Bob Barker, when he came on, he wasn't too bad. He was pretty funny. That whole segment with Chris Jericho was funny.
Yeah. And what's it called? I can't wait if they bring in Ronda Rousey. I want to see what she'll do. I doubt she'll wrestle a match, but I want to see what she does. She is a freaking WWE fan. She even posts stuff on Instagram, like her reaction when Seth Rollins turned on the Shield and all that. I mean, wow. I don't know if you saw that, but wow. She's really into it. She loves it. I mean, I don't know why she didn't become a wrestler instead of an MMA fighter, but yeah. Wait till you see Ronda Rousey come to the WWE. That'd be freaking crazy.
I think that would be great. I would love for I don't know who, say I'll give an example. AJ is Divas champion. All of a sudden Ronda Rousey comes out and just kicks the shit out of her. She doesn't even cut a promo. She just starts kicking the living shit out of her.
Yeah, I would love to see that too, but I doubt she'll do anything because Dana White is so stubborn. I remember the whole Brock Lesnar thing a couple years ago, the rumor that he was going to wrestle Undertaker a couple years ago while he was still in the UFC. And Dana White was oh, wait, that's not going to happen. Even though they're MMA, they still consider WWE competition because,
it's still, kind of, entertainment-wise. So, they both want to get the best ratings on TV. They both want to get pay-per-view buys and whatnot, and, Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. But anyways, I'm trying to think of other things. Bray Wyatt's fucking promo again. Oh, my God. Going under ladders, talking about, the world title, and then now the Rowan and Harper getting a tag title shot. I mean, wow. You know, that was fucking amazing, but it led to a Bray Wyatt versus Sheamus match. Was not that great, but it led to that, and you had Sheamus and the Usos pretty much got the last laugh on them because they came on to attack the Wyatts. The Wyatts backed out, and there you go. But man, Bray Wyatt once again, man. I mean, Jesus, dude. I don't know. What's your thoughts, man? It was freaking crazy. I mean, he mentioned he was going after for the WWE World Heavyweight title. I'm thinking to myself, can Bray walk out with that title?
I don't know if he's going to walk out of there with the title. Possibly, you know, it's a chance. You know, I think the only guys in that match that aren't going to walk out with the title are Sheamus and Del Rio. You know, I think everybody else has a chance. You know, Bray Wyatt has a chance. Cesaro has a chance. Roman Reigns has a chance. And then, you know, Cena and Orton, obviously, I would say, are the favorites.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And funny you mentioned Roman Reigns. He did enter the Battle Royal. And there was some name, like 5 names could have probably won it, like Roman Reigns, Bo Dallas, because he's in the hot winning streak. Same with Rusev. He's in the hot winning streak. RVD could have been in there too. Dolph Ziggler could have been in that final slot. But then Roman Reigns won the battle. Sorry, he won the Battle Royal. And notice that he came out to a different sound of a Shield song. It's the same thing, but it's a different tone of it. I'm guessing that's going to be Roman Reigns' music, post-Shield era, you can say. But yeah, Roman Reigns is now in the Money in the Bank match, and he has a shot to get the title. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, what else also happened? Rusev kicking Heath Slater's ass without the 3MB guys. We'll explain to that later. But yeah, he's putting over the Russian again, pretty much the same week. Yeah. Also, you know what's funny about that Battle Royal? Someone was tweeting me that Bo Dallas is going to win that Battle Royal, and it wouldn't shock me if he did win that Battle Royal. And I'm sure you'll be happy about it if he did win that Battle Royal. So.
I was thinking they need to do something with him that just makes him more, you know, of an annoying character than he already is. You know, and I was thinking, you know, because the winner was out there with the titles, with the titles hanging above the ring, Bo Dallas should have came out and put the ladder up and took the belts and just left and act like he won the titles, like, in the match. I think that would just be hilarious, and it would just add so much to his character.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. What I was going to say, so hold on, that same dude, Smartcast, he just tweeted me, he says, I let Rousey put an armbar on me any day, son.
You know, I probably would too, but then she'd have to be, she'd probably, you know, actually beat the shit out of me. She'd be, you know, teasing an armbar, and then she'd actually break my arm. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I watch MMA, and the way she comes down to the octagon, I'm like, fuck that shit. That look she has, fuck that shit. That's all I got to say. You know, she's a different person when she's not fighting, but when she's in there, when she's focused, fuck that shit. That's all I got to say. That chick can kick my ass, I'll tell you that right now. Yeah. But anyway. What you said?
Let's go back to Raw.
Yeah, we should go back to Raw. All right. I guess we just pretty much mentioned everything. We're not missing anything, but
the main event.
Talk to the main event,
which was John Cena versus Kane. in a stretcher match, and the winner gets the final spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And I don't know about you, but like I said in the beginning of the show, I thought this match was absolute shit. It was boring as hell. It was completely predictable.
Yeah. Yeah, predictable because first of all,
the finish was so ridiculously stupid. He does an AA. He does an AA to Kane onto the stretcher, not even hard, and that stretcher is padded. How does Kane stay down?
Dumb, I'll say. Maybe Cena didn't even realize that. They should have AA him on the frickin' ramp at least and take his ass over there. And plus, we all know it's predictable because the original plan was to have Daniel Bryan against Kane in the stretcher match. They could kill off Kane's character, or kill off Kane pretty much. He's going to be out for a bit to promote his new See No Evil movie. But then, see what happens.
And that's why I can't blame Kane because he's just put in these situations, and of course Kane being Kane, he's going to put anybody over that needs to be, even if it's somebody who's established like Cena. And I was ranting last week about Cena, and tonight was a perfect example. Seth Rollins and Randy Orton interfered, and Randy Orton gives John Cena the RKO. And within seconds, Dean Ambrose interferes to attack Orton and Seth Rollins. More importantly, try to take out Seth Rollins. And in that span of like 10 to 15 seconds, John Cena's back up. John Cena is back up to his feet as if nothing ever happened. That pisses me off to no end. Like, you couldn't sell that RKO just a little bit?
Yep. And John Cena is now in a situation that you don't want him to be in for the WWE title, which I don't blame Cena that he's in there because if Daniel Bryan wasn't hurt, he will not be in that match. Or maybe he'll be in that briefcase match, but he will not be in the WWE title or World Heavyweight title picture, you can say. But he's forced in there, and there you go. See what happens. But I doubt Cena's going to win this match. I'll tell you that. But there you go, people. Your Money in the Bank WWE World title match. You got Bray Wyatt, John Cena, Sheamus, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton. Who am I missing? Bray Wyatt. Did I say Bray Wyatt already?
Yeah, you got Alberto Del Rio.
Del Rio, and Sheamus. They're all in this match. The winner's going to be one of those guys. He'll be your next WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And let's see who walks out. That's the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Money in the Bank, in a few weeks. Which I think is next Sunday, not this Sunday, because this Sunday is Ring of Honor. So next Sunday, I think that's the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Let's see who walks out as champion, and let's see what this person do with that title, and then see what happens when Daniel Bryan comes back. But anyways, like I said, I thought this Raw was better than Raw that we've seen the last few weeks. There was a terrible Raw we saw 2 weeks ago. But
yeah, the past couple Raws have been pretty bad, and I thought this one, it was a little bit better, but I thought the only reason that it was better was because of, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and even, Roman Reigns. Everybody, he seems to be getting more comfortable being on his own. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he is. And he's getting liked more, not only from the people in the back, but the fans are liking this guy. They're cheering for this guy. I'm not a big Roman Reigns mark. To me, when the Shield was going on, even from today, to me, he's the last person from my least favorite Shield member I like. But see how it goes. So I'm actually planning to go to WrestleMania this year, and if the rumor's true about they want him to walk out WWE World Champion, I don't know if I want to see that, but see what happens, man. And before we move on to something else, I think you want to talk about those releases, because we're still talking about WWE right now. Those releases last week, man, 11, or we could say 10 wrestlers, or 9 wrestlers, 1 former general manager and 1 referee was cut. Names like JTG, Drew McIntyre, Jinder Mahal, Oksana, Evan Bourne. Did I say Drew McIntyre? No?
Yes. It was the whole list is JTG, Drew McIntyre, Jinder Mahal, Oksana, Kurt Hawkins, Teddy Long, Camacho, Brodus Clay, Evan Bourne, Yoshitatsu, and Mark Harris, who's a referee.
Yeah, Mark Harris. Yeah, that's the list right there. There's any names that shocked you about that release?
Honestly, not really. Maybe Evan Bourne, because I thought maybe they would have given him, something new to do, since, he's been out for a while, but his injury is healed. And I thought they would have, brought him back and teamed him, with Tyson Kidd, or, just done something, brought him back just to do something.
Yeah.
Cause
I actually saw that coming.
Talent.
I actually saw that coming because he was actually been okay for the last couple of months, but they just can't find nothing for him. So I guess they decided, you know what, they're going to let him go. But he has a bright future coming up. So, because he's going to get booked more indie shows. I'll tell you that right now. All those releases, he's going to get booked a lot.
Yeah,
he has a lot of connections.
Everybody booked some shows for PWS.
PWS, yeah. And not only that, he has connection with Ring of Honor and Gabe. So if you want to bring him in for either Giant Gate USA or Evolve, he can appear there. He has a lot of connections, so it wouldn't surprise me.
That's why, this day and age, even if you get cut by the WWE, if you're former WWE talent, there's still some work for you to do, as long as, you're relatively well known, you can still have work. I think out of all of those, the guy that's going to get booked the most is JTG.
Get out of here, man.
It is amazing that JTG lasted this long. He hasn't been used since 2012. He hasn't been on Raw, SmackDown, Main Event, Superstars, NXT, nothing for 2 years. And even before 2012, he was barely even on ever since he went, into his singles career. I can't believe he lasted long. And, of course, everybody on the internet, it's that whole JTG joke, what's JTG doing? Is JTG the bunny?
Yeah.
And if you read JTG, I can't even say his name, JTG, he tweeted out that he shouldn't have picked up his phone, and that's why he got fired. So there's the whole, because apparently there is some truth to that when they release talents, they have to call them. And I guess if they don't answer, they can't fire them.
Yeah. Another one that kind of shocked me was Oksana, because I thought that she was up next to feud with Paige, because what happened with her and Alicia Fox from Raw last week, I thought that it would lead her to a feud with Paige. I thought maybe we were going to see a triple threat match or something like that, but unfortunately, it didn't happen. So, and another thing was maybe a little disappointed with a lot of fans, Drew McIntyre. How can you start off with the Chosen One with that crazy-ass intro music and everything, from that to all the way down to 3MB? I mean, wow.
Hey, don't be dissing 3MB. 3MB you know, for you know, everybody can knock 3MB and say that they're jobbers or whatever, but they were entertaining. I don't care what anybody says. They were entertaining. They were funny. And, you know, when they started that whole feud with the Matadores and El Torito, that was funny and entertaining stuff, you know? So you can knock 3MB, but, you know, the whole reason that, you know, I think WWE might have been more serious with Drew McIntyre, but, you know, there was this whole thing that came out a couple of years ago with his ex-wife, Tiffany, who used to work on ECW, and apparently she beat him up, and, you know, of course, Vince McMahon being Vince McMahon, he was like, oh, I can't let that happen, we have to demote him right now.
Yeah, that really hurt him a lot. I mean, the whole thing with Taryn Terrell, I mean, at the hotel, that was freaking awful, you can say, or dumb move from him, but it was awful for those guys, for him, and then it hurt Drew McIntyre right there. It hurt him having another Intercontinental run. It hurt him maybe possibly doing more angles. And remember, the brand extension was still around at that time, so he could have maybe gotten a world title shot. But hold on for a thought.
What were you were saying about Oksana? You're surprised. I kind of wasn't, in the sense that she, you know, first when she injured Naomi, you know, it might have been an accident, but it was kind of like an accident that could have been avoided if she didn't drop that knee down on her eye. And what, you know, what would have she have done if she actually blinded Naomi? You know? That would have been serious stuff. And then she also injured somebody else. So I think she was more of a risk than a reward for them.
Yeah. Hold on a second. We have another call in line. Hold on a second. 865 area code. You're live on Wrestlingheads Radio. Who's speaking?
What's up? It's Smartcast.
What's going on, Smartcast? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Before I say anything, I want to congratulate you on LA Kings. Congratulate everybody in your area, because y'all Kings put out my boys, the Blackhawks. But honestly, man, I wasn't even angry, because there's not a team in the NHL that has more heart and respect than the Kings. So straight up, man, I was happy for them.
This King, I like this Kings team better than the other one, because this team showed heart, didn't give up. You know, you can't take them down until you beat them 4 times in the series. You know, that's the only way you can beat them. You know, they came back from an 0-3 first round. You know, losing in the first round from 0-3 till won 4 straight to advance until, you know, beating teams like the Ducks, LA. You know, that freeway series out here in LA was huge, because there's a lot of Ducks fans run their mouths for years at the Kings.
I hate the Ducks.
Oh yeah, we got a Stanley Cup before you guys did, and look what happened. Bam, they got their ass kicked.
I hate the Ducks. Man, whenever, I was sitting there watching Game 7 of the Blackhawks and Kings with my wife, and after the Kings won, she was like, oh, I'm sorry, baby. And I'm like, don't be, man. This is the Kings, man. I'm okay with this. It could have been anyone else, and I would have been pissed. But I'm like, man, I was like, I'll show you why. And they lined up, shook each other's hands, and I'm like, that's why, because this team has more respect than any other team in the NHL. So I was like, I'm perfectly okay with the Kings beating my boys. I'm okay with that. Anyway, what I really called about, I tried to catch you before you switched on to something else, but I didn't. I just had a question. Man, I can't be the only one that is not excited about this Money in the Bank ladder match. One tiny iota. I just do not care. It just seems whoever wins this is a placeholder, and none of the people who deserve to win it will win it, like Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, Cesaro. Those are the 3 that really deserve to win it. Instead, we'll have Sheamus, Alberto Del Rio, John Cena, Randy Orton, the 4 guys who have had it 1 billion times. And it's like, I'm tired of seeing the same people in the main event. And they finally put Bray Wyatt, and they're not going to win it. And it's just, it saddens me. And I'm not even excited about it. Not to mention, it's probably going to be a terrible match, because you got 7 dudes, and 5 dudes in there that are huge and really cannot pull off a ladder match. Alberto Del Rio is on the line because he can pull off a great singles match, last man standing, something like that. But a ladder match, that dude is way too intelligent, and he cares about his body too much and won't really do any, like, hardcore bumps. So we're not going to see excitement in this match. There's no real agility. It's just going to be a bunch of big dudes hitting each other with ladders. And I'm just not excited about that at all. I don't know.
I think there'd be a couple big spots, because you have Cesaro in there. And
Sheamus will take some spots.
And say what you want about Sheamus, but when it comes to Money in the Bank, Sheamus, he goes in, as evident from last year when, he eventually got, injured when he took that nasty bump off the ladder.
Oh, yeah.
So when Sheamus is in any sort of, I would say, hard-hitting match, he doesn't shine necessarily, but he does very well in the match.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. That's why I think they need to have another Money in the Bank match along with this one. They need to have a more of a high-flying, exciting Money in the Bank match for that briefcase.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying for weeks on my podcast, for weeks. Like, before they even said, oh, Daniel Bryan's out, the Money in the Bank is going to be for the top. Before that was even announced, I said, if they do that, it will ruin Money in the Bank, because one of the most intriguing storylines every year is that briefcase. Who's going to cash it in? When are they going to cash it in? It's exciting. You never know when it's going to happen. It's always great. And this year, it's not going to happen. We're not going to have a briefcase this year, and that tears my heart out as a WWE fan. That just, I'm moving to Ring of Honor, man.
And you maybe, hopefully, to make it up for this, maybe next year, WrestleMania, they bring back the Money in the Bank to WrestleMania, and they cut the fucking pay-per-view out, and they add a new pay-per-view. Instead of freaking Money in the Bank pay-per-view, they bring the match back to WrestleMania. Maybe they'll lead to that,
Yeah, I mean, what I want more than anything is King of the Ring. Bring back the original tournament format of King of the Ring.
Oh, man.
Dude, I would want that
happy
so
they bring
bad.
King of the Ring back.
Yeah, I'm talking about the original format, not what they did years ago when they only did 4 guys. I mean the original 8-guy tournament. The original format. Bring that shit back, dude. I would love that. And just kill Money in the Bank and just have one Money in the Bank. Screw this Andre the Giant Battle Royal bullcrap. I hated that. There's no point in that. All you win is a trophy. Let's bring back Money in the Bank for WrestleMania. And have that take the place of Andre the Giant thing, and have Cesaro, and that will give Paul Heyman something else to brag about. My client, Cesaro, is the one and only winner of the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. He'll have something else to, because in about a year he's not going to be able to brag as much about being the 1 and 21-1. He's not going to be able to, in a year people are going to start to forget. So. But maybe not a year. I'll give it 2 years. Not a year. A year, people will remember that because, in my opinion, easily, without a doubt, the most shocking moment in WrestleMania history. Easily. So, that would be killer for me, man.
Yeah, that name Cesaro, that's my pick to win the whole Money in the Bank because he's right there today in Raw, not saying a word. They're making people forget about him. So, that's what I like. Ain't talking about him right now on WWE TV, so that could be a showing the sign that Cesaro's going to win that title, and we can see Daniel Bryan Cesaro. Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you both a question. Would you like to see a Cesaro Daniel Bryan feud going down SummerSlam?
Dude, that'd be killer.
Oh, I might be there,
dude. Dude, that's 2 guys who are, I think Cesaro's still underrated. I think he is still underrated. People say he's one of the best in the ring, but I still think he's underrated in the ring because people really haven't seen what he can do. They haven't seen him in anything besides the Sami Zayn. But honestly, be honest with yourself. How many true WWE Universe fans have actually seen those matches? You know, it's like, because no one, I mean, a lot of people watch NXT, but not that many people watch NXT.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and that's sad because they missed Natalya and Charlotte, which was, oh my God.
Great.
Holy shit. That was like, if they could do that in the WWE with the Divas division, man, we'd be back on top of the Trish and Lita days. It'd be amazing. They put on a fucking show, man. I mean, I was almost in tears at how beautiful that match was. Perfectly played out. It was. I mean, even my wife, man. Yeah, my wife who doesn't really like the women's wrestling, man.
And I was like, why can't they put NXT live every week? That would be freaking awesome if they had it live every week.
Well, I don't know.
It
would probably conflict with, you know, some of the main roster schedules. Plus, when they do, you know, because they tape in advance, and you know, one day they tape, you know, 3 to 4 episodes of NXT.
Yeah.
So, you know, when they're not taping episodes, you know, they're training those other guys. They're doing NXT live events, and you know, because a lot of those NXT guys, you know, when you're on the main roster, your job is to, you know, go to Raw, go to SmackDown, go to the live events, and that's it. When you're in NXT, you have to go to the Performance Center and train all day. You have to talk with, you know, all the creative people and probably Triple H about, you know, your character and what plans they have and all that stuff and, you know, what's going on. You also probably have, you know, your regular workout to do. And it's just, I think it's more of a hectic schedule for younger guys to do NXT live every week.
Oh, I mean, well, you heard they cut production values to NXT, didn't you?
Yeah, I just heard about that before. Yeah. When the show came on, I was like, what the hell? During the show I heard about that.
Yeah, they cut the production values, and they're talking about they're going to start releasing people. And I mean, I can name a bunch of them right now that they just need to get rid of. I mean, like Mojo Riley, get rid of that dude.
Yeah.
He is annoying. That hippie guy that's coming out there, DJ Parker, get rid of him, dude. He is horrible.
I think most of the releases that they might do are people that we've never heard of.
Oh yeah. Cool. I mean, look at the NXT roster.
I think if we've heard of anybody, then they might not be released. So, you know, I think most people that have been on TV are safe, but you never know.
And another thing,
I mean, you go.
And one thing, this whole cut thing they're doing, I hope this just like ends WWE signing more indie talent, because I think indies still need to keep some talent, because I don't want to hear next week, oh, they signed Johnny Gargano. You know, like, come on, what? Can you leave? Can you have PWG keep some talent? You know, shit. You want to sign the whole PWG roster? Fuck. You know,
it's not even that. It's not even that they're signing and taking away the talent. But I mean, let's say just four random guys: the Young Bucks, Red Dragon. I'm going to take 2 people from Ring of Honor and NJPW. You take those 4 guys. Let's say tomorrow we get emails. Young Bucks and Red Dragon have been signed to WWE. You know they're going to be shit on, and they're just going to be put in there to job out to Ryback and Curtis Axel. They're not going to be used right.
I would say if this was 4 years ago, you'd be absolutely right. But this day and age, I would say you're absolutely wrong. Look at the amount of talent that are indie guys that are being heavily pushed. You have Daniel Bryan, you have Cesaro, you have Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose,
CM Punk,
Luke Harper,
had CM Punk.
You know, you look at Punk even. You look at down in NXT. You had Adrian Neville, Sami Zayn, Kalisto just debuted. So I think that notion that WWE just buries indie talent, that's completely false. When you're, that's a mistake I think people make. When you're an indie talent, you can't have this attitude that just because you're the hot shit on the indies, then that means you should be pushed to the moon in WWE, because that's not the truth. You know,
you're exactly right, because that's how Daniel Bryan
like Chris Hero. You know, Chris Hero, you know, was brought into NXT, had some good matches. You know, had some good matches with Regal, and he was looking okay. And then all of a sudden, he's released. And you know, there's reports that they released him because of his weight, and he wouldn't cut weight. But Chris Hero says that wasn't true, and you know, he left on good terms. So sometimes it just doesn't work out, and it's not the WWE's fault, or it's not, you know, the indie person's fault, you know, in that case, Chris Hero's fault. It just doesn't work out.
And note this thing, on Twitter, he still has his Cassius Ohno thing, so you never know. He could come back, so.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying about Drew McIntyre. I just think Drew McIntyre, he can't go to TNA. So he can't go to the place where careers go to die.
Why would he want to go to TNA?
Exactly. Well, he can't. That's what I'm saying. He's not going to go to the place where careers go to die. He's going to go to Ring of Honor, where he'll be awesome, or he'll go to NJPW, where he'll be awesome, or countless indie places. And he is Drew McIntyre.
I heard he's going internationally. I'm hearing he's going internationally.
He would be great. He will be great no matter where he goes. The same thing with Brodus Clay. Brodus Clay, he's not that great, but if he goes to NJPW, they love giant monsters down there, man. He'll do great in NJPW. He's not wonderful in the ring.
He's going to be at PWS in September, so there you got him booked for that. So
and Evan Bourne, all he has to do is switch back to Matt Sindel. Boom.
He will be back, Matt Sindel.
Oh,
he will be back, pretty much.
Go back to Ring of Honor.
I mean, like I said earlier on the show, he has connections. He has connections.
Oh, yeah.
You go either Ring of Honor, Dragon Gate USA, Evolve. He can go anywhere pretty much. So, I mean, he probably will not sign a contract, but he probably bust the Roderick Strong, AJ Styles. Pretty much, he'll go anywhere. So.
Dude, I still believe, and I truly believe it. I know it's not the most popular opinion, but I still believe that if that dude was given a chance, he could be the next Rey Mysterio Jr. Easily.
Yeah.
That dude is that talented. He is so talented. But he never got the chance because he's a high flyer, and for some reason, when he was in a bad era where the high flyers are just not the top things, but now they're making their comeback. The high flyers are starting to be more popular. The Usos, not technically high flyers, but you know, getting there. You know, and Tyson Kidd, you know, but Tyson Kidd's different. He's an animal, man. He can do high flying, technical. He can do whatever he wants. I like Tyson Kidd, but I mean, he sucks on the mic. So, I mean, on NXT, he's terrible.
All right, Smartcast, we need to move on, but I want to thank you for calling in. You want to give out plugs or anything?
Yeah, sure. You can catch my podcast on YouTube at Smartcast. You can, on, what's it called? Twitter, completely different, at -Darren. And by the way, Darren's my name. You keep asking my name, and it's like it's right there in my Twitter handle. So there it is.
Yeah.
All right, man. But am I alone, though? Answer the question. Am I alone? Am I the only person who is not excited for that ladder match?
Not at all.
I'm a little excited. I'd be more excited if they add another one in. I'll just say that.
Yeah. This time we'll be for the briefcase, yeah. All right. Thanks, man, for calling, bro. All right.
See you later, man.
Was Smartcast. What a great gentleman. He's pretty cool. He hits us on Twitter a lot. So, but anyways, Tom, I think we should go to commercial break, and we should talk about a pay-per-view that went on last night. But anyways, let's just go to a commercial break.
Howdy. This is the Intrepid Traveler, Paul London, and I've touched base on your planet. You're listening to Wrestlingheads Radio, and if you decide not to listen to them, I'll fry your brain.
Yo, welcome to WH Radio. Today's show is brought to you by the good people down at WrestlingRambles.com. For the latest in wrestling news, in-depth blog, and hot topic discussion, hit up WrestlingRambles.com. Remember, it's not just any ramble, but a wrestling ramble. WrestlingRambles.com. And also special thanks to Ring Rust Radio and FLTDWrestling.com. Thank you for listening.
Yeah. Welcome back to WH Radio. I got fans that love me. I got a listener named Vicky that loves me. Shout out to Vicky. I have fans over the place. And, yeah. So, had a crazy-ass weekend. But before we talk about that, Tom, you actually saw Slammiversary last night. And you said it was pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm. You know, I've been giving a lot of shit to TNA over the past, I'd say, couple weeks, and I think rightfully so. But you know, I decided to check out Slammiversary last night because they added some new matches, and it looked interesting, and it definitely exceeded my expectations of what this pay-per-view was going to be. There was a good amount of solid matches on here. The main event was a pretty good match, and it was definitely going to be better than the original Eric Young versus MVP match. So really quick, since I know you didn't see it, I'll just go over the card and give my thoughts. All right, so the night started off with Sonata defending his X Division title in a ladder match against Manic, Tigre Uno, Crazy Steve, Eddie Edwards, and Davey Richards. Oscar, I definitely recommend you check out this match. It was crazy. It reminded me of an old school X Division match. Lots of good high spots. And, you know, Eddie and Davey were great in this match. Manic was good. Good to see TJP back in TNA. Hopefully full time with Destination X coming up. It'd be cool to see him some more. So then the next matchup we had was Lashley versus Samoa Joe, and this was an all-right match. So this match was the first match to determine the first challenger for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship because MVP was injured, so he made it a triple threat match, and the matches between Lashley and Samoa Joe and Austin Aries and Kenny King, those two winners would be put in the main event for the TNA World title. So Lashley and Samoa Joe was okay. Bobby Lashley ended up beating Samoa Joe, and he was put in the main event. Then we had Magnus against Willow, and Abyss returned to help out Willow against Magnus and Bram, even the score. This was another okay match, you know, nothing good, but nothing bad, just another solid match. Magnus did pick up the victory over Willow. Mm-hmm. And then we had Austin Aries versus Kenny King, which was a great match. Of course, you know, these two have a ton of talent in the ring. You know, Austin Aries, I believe, is the best talent in TNA right now at the moment, and, you know, should be in the main event spot where, you know, he should be. So that's good on him. Austin Aries did pick up the victory, which was good. I thought Kenny King might have snuck one out, but Austin Aries picked up the victory, so he was put into the main event with Bobby Lashley against Eric Young. So then we had the Von Erichs, which consisted of Marshall Von Erich and Ross Von Erich. They took on the Bromans. And this match, I'd say it was kind of bad just for the fact that Marshall and Ross Von Erich are still pretty green. Don't have a lot of talent in the ring right now. But it was a cool moment because there was a disqualification when Jesse went into the ring and hit, I think it was Marshall Von Erich with a chair, and then Kevin Von Erich got in the ring and put on the claw to a huge pop. Tremendous ovation because, like you said last week, the Von Erichs are huge in huge Texas.
Yeah, you know what? Chris is old school, and he told me that the Von Erichs were one point bigger than the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. So I'm telling you, Von Erichs in Texas, they're stars out there, man, rock stars.
That whole, it's such a shame, because that whole Von Erich story is, a big tragedy because how many Von Erichs are gone, and how many of them committed suicide. It's really a sad story. So this was definitely what they needed. It was a good feel moment. It was a good pop. And I would, if you're going to check this out, this is a cool moment to see. Then we had Angelina Love defending her Knockouts Championship against Gail Kim. This match flat out sucked. A lot of bullshit in this match. Way too much bullshit than needed to be done. And
too many interference, right?
Victory.
Too much interference. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, too much interference.
Because
just,
Alice Guy, right?
What happened to Knockouts.
Yeah. Okay. I figure. We pretty much watch Impact.
Yeah. This was one of the low points.
All right.
On the show. So then we had Mr. Anderson taking on James Storm. This match wasn't good either. Maybe I don't know what it was. Maybe these guys just didn't click at all. Luckily, the match was only around 5 minutes long. I would think so. So it ended pretty quickly, but still, it just wasn't a good match. Another match to avoid. Then we had EC3 taking on Bully Ray in a Texas death match. It was originally a tables match, but it got changed to a Texas death match on Impact last Thursday. This was a solid match. Couple of cool spots. They were using some glass. They were they were teasing the table. They were teasing Bully Ray putting Dixie Carter through her table, but then Rockstar Spud took her out of the way before Bully Ray could do it. And EC3 picked up the victory over Bully Ray, so they keep on building EC3 as a legitimate threat, so that's good. And speaking of Bully Ray, Kurt Angle announced the next inductees into the TNA Hall of Fame, which is Team 3D, and they're going to be inducted at Bound for Glory. So, what do you think about that?
Like I said, I wasn't shocked. I think I said last week I think Bully Ray was going in, but it actually was Team 3D. Like I said, TNA's Hall of Fame is like the UFC's Hall of Fame. When you're in your end of your career, you're in the Hall of Fame. Look at Sting. Look at Kurt Angle. Now you're going to put Bully Ray, which is the only old guy left in that company's there, and him and Kurt Angle are pretty much the only old guys there left. But you put him in there when pretty much the end of the career. So, yeah, Team 3D. I mean, I like the team. I like 3D back then with the Dudley Boys, but it's TNA Hall of Fame. Who knows if it's going to be? You can say it's a great accomplishment, a great achievement. Like if you're in the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm not. If they're in the WWE Hall of Fame, they announced it. I'll be happy for them. But this Hall of Fame TNA, I don't know what to say. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I thought this was an okay decision. Obviously with AJ Styles leaving, and all the other TNA originals like Kazarian and Christopher Daniels leaving, they couldn't induct those guys. And Jeff Jarrett too. So I think this was an okay choice. Team 3D has been in TNA quite some time. So I was okay with the decision. I thought it might have been I thought Bully Ray too. So it was an okay decision. I thought maybe Robert Roode might actually get it, and that would be his return or something. But maybe it's good that he didn't get inducted. So hopefully he gets.
He might get it next year.
Yeah,
he might get it next year.
Whenever.
Yeah.
All right. So to close out Slammiversary, we had Eric Young taking on Bobby Lashley and Austin Aries in a triple threat steel cage match for the TNA World Title. Very good match, very good cage match. It didn't go too long either. I think it went a little under 15 minutes, so it was the perfect timing. You got some cool spots. Bobby Lashley, actually had some good spots in this match. He was holding his own, against Eric Young and Austin Aries, who were both a little faster and a little more agile than him. But he played a good role, and Eric Young ended up picking up the victory against Lashley and Austin Aries, retaining his TNA World title. So, and that closed out Slammiversary. And so that was it. I thought this, like I said, this pay-per-view was better than I thought it was going to be. And, I'd recommend checking it out, just to see all the different moments, And, gotta give TNA some credit, they pulled it out when I didn't think they could. And hopefully this is leading to better stuff with them in their New York shows coming up, which, I actually might think about getting some tickets to, if there's still some. And even if that one sold out, they're coming back in August. So either way, it should be cool. So I don't know, hopefully this is good things from TNA because, as much as I rag on TNA, everyone wants to see them do good,
Yeah, definitely. Before I talk about what TNA made an announcement, what they did today. This person been on hold for 5 minutes. I'm going to put this person in. And it's the one and only WH Skit. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Nothing much.
What's going on, Skit?
What up,
we're just talking about TNA Slammiversary. Tom's table was actually pretty good and something we should watch.
Sounds interesting. I heard everything, all the results. Looking forward to watching it. And just like Tom said, those New York shows are definitely important for TNA.
Yeah, and if it's that pay-per-view was really that good, the show was really that good, they need to make it a good show because, how the company, I feel like it's in thin ice right now. So to keep it alive, they better do something. And those New York shows, they better be doing something in those New York shows if they want to make it alive, keep the company alive. So. Yeah,
because I know this weekend, not just one show, but 2 different shows that we went to, TNA got dissed big time by some fans.
Yeah.
So, the Bad Influence Young Bucks match, before their match started, it's fuck TNA. And then at the Sammy Trust from Hollywood show, you have the former TNA commentator, there, and you got people saying fuck TNA, when they see him too. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we can change that, the TNA hating and see if they can step their game up. I'm just looking forward to it.
Yeah, and they announced today that Matt Hardy is making his return to Impact Wrestling or TNA, whatever. And I'm assuming they're teaming up against the Dudley Boy. Team 3D. I'm guessing in those New York shows.
No.
I think they announced that.
This is what I saw.
Is that official? Huh?
I saw that they're going to be doing some tapings, right? And they're going to be feuding with Magnus and what's the Magnus's boy name?
Bram.
I'm not familiar with that guy.
Yeah.
And I guess Willow, that character is going to disappear somehow. That's what I'm not sure about the Dudley Boys thing. I haven't caught up on that, so I have no idea about that.
I thought I saw either Bully Ray, either he mentioned that maybe we'll see him one more time against each other, because due to the history they have with the TLC thing, or maybe the whole thing is to bring Matt Hardy back just to feud with Magnus and Bram. But I thought I saw something to say that they're going to have a match, the Team 3D and the Hardy Boys. But see what happens there.
From what I read on PWG Insider, I saw nothing about the Dudleys. I saw Magnus and the Magnus's boy, which I'm not familiar with yet. So for other listeners, I apologize for not knowing the guy's name yet. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I was going to say, so Matt Hardy coming back to TNA, so that means, I know he's going to be in Ring of Honor this weekend in their pay-per-view coming up, but that means, can this mean that it's the end of his alliance with Adam Cole and Mike Bennett?
Honestly, I don't even know, because, don't forget Matt Hardy has that iconic belt, the green belt.
Yeah.
With his face on it. I don't know what, they kind of pushed that real big over there in Ring of Honor. Ain't no telling, you might do both.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll stop, because TNA is, they like do their tapers in, like, advance, you know what I mean? And same thing for Ring of Honor, they do their tapers in advance, too, so it probably could work out somehow where he can be on both.
I guess, but see what happens with the whole Hardy Boy situation in TNA. But anyways, let's go take another commercial break. And Skits, I think we should talk about that crazy ass weekend we had when we come back from a commercial break. So yeah, we'll be right. Oh yeah, and also we're gonna announce something about our next two shows after our commercial break. So we'll be right back.
This is Nick.
And this is Matt.
The Young Bucks, super kicking you all the time. This is Wrestlingheads Podcast.
Check it out.
Four Corners Radio is the home for the best professional wrestling and independent wrestling. Discussions and coverage. Billy, Ant, Martin, and Sam bring you three of the best podcasts every week. The Four Corners Raw Roundtable, the Indie Project, and the Saturday Freestyle. Along with the podcast, FourCornersWrestling.com is designed with all wrestling fans in mind. Feature articles, videos, the weekly shows, and much more. Four Corners and Wrestlingheads are teaming up to bring you wrestling's next revolution. Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready. Skits, are you ready?
I was born ready. Is Tom ready? Is the question.
I think Tom is getting ready to
I'm a little ready.
Weekend. I guess Tom is ready to hear our freaking weekend. But before we talk about that,
I heard you guys had a fun weekend with some wrestling in your area.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But before we talk about it, I just want to let our listeners know that Wednesday, if you didn't see on our Twitter page, we announced that we have Bobby Fish, one half of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, and also he's part of the Red Dragon. He will be joining us this Wednesday at a different time slot, which will be 9:30 Eastern. Oh, not 9:30. 9 o'clock Eastern time on Wednesday. So you guys want to check us out a little earlier. Our show with Bobby Fish. So check that out. And Thursday we got, for a second time, we got Matt Taven back on WH Radio. That one will be at 3 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. 3 o'clock.
It's actually 3:30. 3:30 East Coast time. So
3:30 East Coast time.
3:30 East Coast time, and that one might just be me and him because I believe everybody is busy, and Oscar's he'll be working. I'm not sure what's up with Tom.
I might be working as well, but if I'm not, I'll be sure to message you.
Yeah, man. Because so it might be like a one-on-one interview, me and Matt Taven, like the one with me and cheerleader Melissa. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, look out to that. So that's pretty much, you can say that's our Ring of Honor week. Like we had Championship Wrestling from Hollywood week last week, but this week you can say Ring of Honor. So yeah, you don't want to miss that out. All right, I guess we should talk about our weekend. Let's start talking about. Well, you want to talk about the convention first? Because that's what we started first, that convention. Then was the House of Hardcore show. So, I mean, yeah. Where we gonna start off? I mean, got in San Diego, it was a freaking 2-hour drive. So
it didn't feel like it to me.
Maybe because you were sleeping.
I was not sleeping. I was in the front car with you.
I guess, whatever. But it was a 2-hour drive to San Diego. We got in the convention. Our boy Mysterious Mexican was all happy that he met Goldberg. So he was there. We got to meet Gangrel, Lita. You met the Bad Influence. The Nasty Boys were there. They were trying to hustle you. They're trying to make money out of you out there. So, Knobs and Sags, they're legends, by the way. They should be in the fucking Hall of Fame.
Nasty Boys?
The Nasty Boys were there, yeah.
No, you said the Nasty Boys should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, Nasty Boys should be in the Hall of Fame.
In what world do you live in? In what world do you live in? Do you think the Nasty Boys should be in the Hall of Fame? What have they done for tag team wrestling?
I don't agree with you, Oscar. I don't know what the Nasty Boys have done for the WWE.
Do you know? Okay. Do you know what the hell they've been around? They've been in a lot of memorable rivalries in WCW and WWE.
I can't remember one Nasty Boys rivalry. The
Hart Foundation and the WWE, Harlem Heat and WCW.
Listen, when you're a tag team and you're going to be in the Hall of Fame, you have to be so memorable. You know, you look at the tag teams that are in the Hall of Fame. The Wild Samoans, easily memorable, for, many years in the WWE. The Legion of Doom, very memorable, one of the most memorable tag teams in history.
Let me tell you what the Nasty Boys are known for, if you want to be honest. The Nasty Boys are known for kissing Hulk Hogan's ass. Let's just be honest.
No. You guys are tripping.
Oh, you're tripping. You think the Nasty Boys should be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, let's put 3MB in the Hall of Fame next.
Hell no. They're way better than 3MB. No way.
No way. 3MB was kicking the shit out of the Nasty Boys.
They've been tagged a lot of times. You can find them with WCW and WWE multiple times. I don't want to say much like Team 3D or Dudley Boys, but multiple times. But before we could move on, we got another call on the line. Hold on a second. What the hell's wrong with this damn thing? Hold on a second. 310 area code. You're live on Wrestlingheads Radio. Something's wrong with this damn thing, but 310 area code, we'll try to put you on in a minute. Something's wrong with this thing. On a bear, okay, hold on. Let's just continue on, but 310 area code, just bear for a sec. So something's going on with this thing, but...
Anyways, Nasty Boys are bums. You know what? It's funny that you mentioned about the Nasty Boys not memorable. They had one of the worst matches on the network against Public Enemy. What's that match? Fuck. This was a horrible ass match when they both have each other. They're both basically connected to each other. You know what match I'm talking about? A dog collar match.
Yeah.
It was a dog collar match. A horrible match. The worst match I've ever seen in my life. Ever.
And that's why WCW is no longer around. So.
The
Anyway,
Nasty Boys were an okay tag team, but they were not Hall of Fame material. I could name you 50 tag teams off of the top of my head that should go in the Hall of Fame before the Nasty Boys, and are better than the Nasty Boys.
You'll be hard to let's just be honest. But
I don't know, but I think you guys are tripping. But
I'm going to go ahead and continue on with what happened with the weekend. Also, besides the Nasty Boys, Lance Storm was there, Mike Bennett, Cool Dude was there, Maria was there, Ric Flair, Stevie Ray, Farouk,
Candice Michelle,
Nate G in Oakland, Candice Michelle, Kelly, Joey Ryan, Tommaso Ciampa, Candice LeRae kind of showed up late, but she was still there with her sexy ass. But let's talk about House of Hardcore, the match. You know, you got guys like Rikishi, Gangrel in action, putting on good matches. X-Pac, Matt Hardy and Carlito, and Tommy Dreamer in a triple threat TLC hardcore type of style match. It was pretty good. Matt Hardy went over on that one. But honestly, the most fun the whole weekend, I would say, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Got to meet AJ Styles, cool dude. Coco Cabana, cool dude. Trent Beretta and AJ Styles. I know it's going to be hard to find, but somebody's got to find that match and watch it because it was excellent. Trent Beretta needs a fucking solo around the PWG ASAP.
Yeah, I agree. With Trent to PWG would be freaking awesome, but I don't know why. I don't know why they don't see it that way, but hopefully they do that. But anyways, yeah, that Trent and AJ Styles match was awesome at Championship Wrestling yesterday. But at House of Hardcore, that match tonight was the Young Bucks and Bad Influence, the main event. That was the match of the night. And
of course.
Yeah, because it's the Bucks and it's the Bad Influence. And I got poured beard on by the Sandman, by the way. And yep, I did.
Yeah.
And I was afraid I didn't get
both of us actually. I'm gonna put the photo up and I'm gonna tag you. I have to selfie it. Sandman's in the background. You can see me and Oscar in the photo.
Yeah. And he came out to Metallica, Tom. He did. He did come out to Metallica.
He did.
Yeah, he did. And another match I liked. Another match I liked was surprisingly Hardcore Holly and Adam Pearce. I actually liked that match.
Well, yeah, a lot of hard hitting. But how about Balls Mahoney? Balls Mahoney, one of the funniest dudes I have ever met. Balls, I swear he had to be drunk. I don't know if he was drunk or he was funny.
Something, dude. Yeah.
But back to Championship Wrestling Hollywood real quick. You know how before the show started and they mentioned how Shawn Ricker won last year's Red Carpet Rumble?
Yeah.
And they said once you win the Red Carpet Rumble, good things happen. I just put two and two together earlier. Willie Mack won. So good things happen. You know, I think they're going to go by whoever is getting signed or whatever probably to win the Red Carpet Rumble. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll just put that. Because to be honest, I think Brian Taylor should have won it.
Who you said again?
Brian Taylor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, me too. I think he should have won it too, but I think they just want to give this to Willie Mack because he's gone, he's leaving. So I guess they just want to like give him like a little, like a, how can I say this?
Thank you.
A freaking thank you. Yeah, big thank you. Probably give him a little short title run before he goes to WWE. So because he's been there for years in Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. So yeah, see what happens with that. And yeah. Matt Hardy was there at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood.
Matt Hardy is one cool dude. Reggie Scott is actually nice this time.
Yep, because I remember last time you were like, oh, she's a bitch and all this shit. Now
I still hate her.
Wrong with her now.
I still hate her, by the way, but she was nice.
Yeah. Definitely. I get to meet Jake the Snake Roberts. He was a funny-ass dude.
Jake the Snake cheated you out that $10 too, bro.
Yeah. It is what it is. Jake the Snake, man. He's a legend. But hold on a second. We got another call line. It's that same 310 area code number. Hold on. 310 area code. You're live on Wrestlingheads Radio. Who's speaking?
Hey, guys. It's Vicky.
What's up, Vicky?
Hey.
Yeah.
What's up, Vicky?
I finally called in. Just to put my little 2 cents on House of Hardcore that happened this past Saturday.
Go for it.
Because, as you know, I was telling you guys, this is my first indie show this whole entire year. The last show I've been to was BFG. So I had a lot of high expectations for this show, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really had the highest expectations for the Extreme TLC match. I was like, what the hell is an Extreme TLC match? TLC is already extreme. I don't know about you guys, but I was kind of slightly disappointed with that finish with Matt Hardy putting Carlitos through the table with the side effect.
I actually liked it.
I mean, okay, let me ask you something. Were you expecting like something like Edge and Christian, Hardy Boys, and Dudley Boys, like stuff like that back in the day?
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I was kind of thrown off from the fact that there was actually nothing changing from feeling or anything like that. That was just like a pinfall submission type TLC match. You know, the last time like that was like in a WWE game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and what's funny is that they had nothing they could hang on something, and plus there's no titles in House of Hardcore, so what the heck are they going to be fighting for?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
So, I'm just saying, if it's TLC, you usually expect something to be hanging.
Yeah.
That they could.
Yeah, and there's one thing I was happy about, that Tommy Dreamer actually came out to his old Alice in Chains music, so like he did in ECW, so I was happy he came out to that music. But yeah.
I was pretty happy about that, and that six-man tag match, the tag match between Gangrel and Stryker and Rikishi and Pac, that was probably one of my favorite matches just for nostalgia.
Yeah. I was actually pumped up when Gangrel came out. Hold on. I was actually pumped up when Gangrel came out with his old music. That WWE music he came out to, I was all happy about that. He comes out and spit out the blood and everything.
The best theme music of all time, by the way.
I totally agree.
Probably.
I think every single person who was a Brood fan was just bobbing their heads and just getting so into it.
Yeah.
You know what Matt Show wasn't talking about that was actually good? Joey Ryan and Tommaso Ciampa.
You think that match was good?
Pretty good.
I actually thought it was bad. I don't know not terrible, but I didn't like it. I didn't like that match at all.
It wasn't bad.
I didn't like it
because
because
you can talk about that Mil Mascaras match if you want to talk about bad.
But, to me, I don't consider it as a match. That was like a segment to me because it was just basically a Master Lock challenge. They challenged pretty much anybody in the backstage, and you had four different guys.
I didn't say Master Lock challenge.
No. The Mil Mascaras match versus Aaron Aguilar.
Oh, you mean Mil Mascaras? I think you said Chris Masters. Oh my bad, Mil Mascaras.
No,
that was God. Yeah, that was bad. I mean, that was worse than Joey and Tommaso Ciampa to me.
That match shouldn't have even been booked, to be honest with you. He wasn't taking
it should not be booked.
You just seen
Mil Mascaras should not even wrestle. Mil Mascaras should not even wrestle. But yeah. And it was sad. It was disturbing to watch. Tom, if you watched that match, by the way, if somehow you bought that House of Hardcore DVD that happened in San Diego, or you borrowed it from somebody, Tom, I will fast forward or skip that match. I mean, I advise you to do that. You'll be disturbed. You'll really be disturbed.
What was so bad about it?
Me. Okay, Mil Mascaras is 70 years old. He did not take any bumps at all.
That figure. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Like why? Like whose idea was it to put Mil Mascaras in the ring? Like it would be okay.
I have no idea what's the idea, but he did not take no bumps. He didn't take no bumps, and he wore this weird outfit.
Him in the ring. You should have had him in the ring and then have a heel come out and then have Mil Mascaras punch the guy. Like that's it. Have him punch a guy.
Yeah, it was just awful. You can just say that. Just if I were you, if you're somehow end up watching it somehow, I will skip that match. But anyways, what are you about to say, Skits?
Another thing we forgot to mention was the Q&A that we went to.
With
me and Gene Okerlund. It was a Q&A we went to Tom. That featured me and Gene Okerlund as the host, with Stevie Ray, Farouk, Eric Bischoff, and Gangrel. It's pretty good. We got some good questions and good answers back. A friend of ours actually asked Eric Bischoff when WCW was at its peak, why didn't you guys ever get booked at the Garden. So basically, he answered back and said, Vince McMahon Sr. and Vince McMahon, the one that we know, Junior, basically, they basically cut ties with Madison Square Garden for like a lot of years. So that's why you haven't seen no other, wrestling promotion really have shows like at the Garden but the WWE, because they got the relationship with them.
Yep.
Honestly, you know what? To be honest, I wonder how it would be if another wrestling promotion was to perform at the Garden, because a lot of great things would happen in that building.
Yeah, I mean, the only promotion I could think of that could have done it is WCW, but TNA, ECW, or whatever, it wouldn't have that same magic what the WWE did. So, yeah, that's what happened. But anyways, Vicky, there's anything else you want to share about that House of Hardcore show?
By far the best match was Bad Influence versus the Young Bucks. That was worth admission alone.
Oh yeah, that was the best match. And it's funny, Tom. In PWG they come out to Hanson, which they did on this show as well. The funny part is they actually played from the beginning of the songs, so it was freaking. Yeah, great from the beginning of the song. PWG they edit it, but oh man. Yeah. So we enjoyed listening to some Hanson there. Anyways, if they ever do another House of Hardcore show, I would go. I will go again.
In there. Most definitely.
Sorry to cut you guys off, but I have to go, so
all right.
Y'all know where to reach me at Twitter, WHGets, and I'll let y'all do the rest. Peace.
All right, man. Do what you got to do at the Dodgers, and I know they're winning right now, so go Blue. And tell those fuckers to help us win a World Series, goddammit. But anyways, that was WH Skits, and yeah, there you go. Yeah, like I said, if House of Hardcore does another show in either in LA or San Diego, I will go again. Tom, I know you're from the East Coast, but I know they do a lot of shows there. I agree with them. You should check it out. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll think about it.
And another thing we gotta know, Vicky, you were there. They did had a chant, please come back, please come back. Well, hopefully they do bring it back, and hopefully maybe they'll bring in like an annual thing, so like a once a year thing. So
it's likely. I mean, the crowd wasn't too bad. There was please come back, and I think it's likely that they will come back. If they do come back, I'll be there.
All right. Even if it's in LA, because I know you're from San Diego now, so.
Technically, it's like Elsinore, but yeah, even if it's in LA, I'll be down there.
All right, cool. All right, Vicky, we're gonna have to let you go, but do you wanna give out any plugs or anything before I let you go?
You can follow me at Twitter at Vicky Cloud. It's VICKIE Cloud, and that's about it.
Yeah, definitely. And Vicky, I will see you at PWG because I found out you're going to be there, and your friend Brandy's going to be there. So, yeah, I guess I'll see you there then.
Absolutely, later.
Oh, no. Before we let you go, let our listeners know, you want to know who Brandy is? She's that famous girl who Matt Stryker made out with at that WrestleCon event.
Nope, I'm not touching that one at all. You're going to have her call in yourself.
Oh. All right, then, Vicky. It was nice talking to you, and it was nice seeing you this past weekend.
Later.
All right, peace out. Later. That's my friend Vicky. She's awesome, and get to see her at PWG. And, yeah, that's how I actually met her at first at a PWG show. So it's fun time at PWG. So yeah, that was my crazy ass weekend, you can say, and we only have a few minutes left. I think it's time for us that we should give out our plug. So Tom, you wanna give out your plug?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Tommy Not Dreamer. Speaking of House of Hardcore, I'm not Tommy Dreamer, but I wish I had House of Hardcore. Seemed like a fun time. I'm sure they'll be back on the East Coast soon enough.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll be in the East Coast before it comes in the West Coast.
And that's basically it for me.
All right, and hold on for a second. Why is this person calling? Hold on a second. 907 area code. You're live on Wrestling Heads Radio. We'll have a few minutes. What are you going to talk about?
I heard I got mentioned.
Oh, Randy, what's up?
I heard I was mentioned, so I just thought I might as well check and make sure you weren't spreading any rumors.
No, I was not spreading any rumors. How could it be a rumor? There's video footage of it.
Well, yeah, and it's on DVD.
Yeah.
After, I think that needs to go up on Twitter tonight, that video, to share with the listeners.
Oh, I'm not going to be that mean. I'm not going to be that mean now. But,
well, I thought
hey,
it's just proving evidence for our fans because, we don't want to look like liars. Come on.
No, what did happen? And I didn't do anything. It was all him, and I just went with it.
See, I think that's why. I think you were just like, Matt Stryker, make out with me, and he was like, crazy fans asking me to make out with them.
And see what happened.
Definitely. And another thing, I did saw Matt Stryker yesterday at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. He did lost to Willie Mack. And I did saw Ryan Taylor. Yeah, he lost his title.
He lost our championship.
Yeah, and I was happy from wearing that Kings jersey because go Kings go. And yeah, all right. It was nice talking to you, but we only have a few minutes left for the show. But is there anything you want to say before we let you go?
Nope, but I'll see you guys in July at PWG.
I will see you there in 1 month, and yes, I will give you a hug.
Awesome. All right, see you guys.
See you there. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, we got.
All right, that was Mrs. Stryker, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, damn! You calling her Mrs. Stryker?
Damn. That is a classic video. I didn't even know that was her. Thank you, Oscar, for
so you saw. Yeah, I actually know her.
Me.
I actually know her, so there you go. All right. We only have a few minutes, but I should give out my plug. You can follow me at Sinister632 on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me now on Google Plus at the TNA Sinister632. Follow us at Twitter, especially follow us at Instagram. We're getting a lot of followers now on Instagram. So follow us there. Check out our pictures. You see my photos with AJ Styles, Jake the Snake, whoever I met over the weekend, like Lita and them. Check that out. And there's a picture of me with the Big Boss Man when I was 6 years old. So check our Instagram out. And hopefully we'll have pictures with Tom in there. And check out our website, WrestlingHeads.com. Buy our T-shirts, please, at ProWrestlingTees/WrestlingHeads. Subscribe us and on iTunes. Give us a review. Give us 5 stars, whatever. Check that out. And subscribe us on YouTube. Wrestling Heads. You got separated. Wrestling, space, Wrestling Heads, space, radio. Subscribe us on YouTube. And I guess till Wednesday, we have Bobby Fish in our show. Me and Tom will be with Bobby Fish. So until Wednesday, we'll see you there. Peace.
Right.